When you sent in this case,
Hmm.
the first thing that jumped out at me was the title, A Tangled Web.
Oh,
Making
yeah.
me think about spiders, right?
Right.
And the intricate traps they weave.
Yeah.
But in this story, the web is digital,
Uh,
and the spider is a woman named Liz.
wow.
So it's a real-life catfish story,
Okay.
but with much higher stakes.
Yeah.
And it all starts with a seemingly ordinary love triangle.
Okay.
Carrie Farver, a brilliant computer programmer,
Mm-hmm.
meets Dave Crare,
Okay.
and they have a whirlwind romance.
Right.
Um, Carrie's mother described her as full of life, someone who embraced every moment.
Mm-hmm.
But just as quickly as it began,
Yeah.
the relationship fizzles out,
Okay.
leaving Carrie feeling rejected.
Rejection can be a powerful trigger,
Yeah.
especially for individuals predisposed to obsessive behaviors.
Oh, wow.
It challenges their sense of self-worth
Right.
and can fuel desire for revenge.
And revenge is exactly what Dave gets. It starts with a barrage of angry texts and emails.
Okay.
But then things take a sinister turn.
Right.
Dave starts receiving photos of himself in his own apartment,
Oh.
taken at times when he knows he was alone.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So this type of behavior suggests a deliberate attempt to instill fear and paranoia.
Right.
The stalker wants the victim to feel constantly watched, creating an atmosphere of psychological dominance.
Imagine the chills running down Dave's spine
Oh, yeah.
when he realized someone was invading his privacy
Uh-huh.
in such a calculated way.
In his own home.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
The harassment escalates to vandalism.
Okay.
A brick thrown through his window.
Oh, my goodness.
His car tires slashed.
Wow.
Dave changes his number,
Okay.
blocks her on every platform,
Mm-hmm.
but she always finds new ways to torment him.
She's relentless.
He ends up having 18 different Carrie contacts in his phone.
Wow, 18.
18.
That's wild.
Yeah.
This persistence is a hallmark of what we call fixated stalking. Okay.
Where the obsession becomes all-consuming,
Mm-hmm.
driving the stalker to increasingly extreme measures to maintain a connection,
Right.
even if it's one of fear and intimidation.
But Carrie's wrath wasn't solely directed at Dave.
Oh, no.
She sets her sights on other women in his life, too.
Okay.
First, his ex-partner, Amy, becomes a target.
Right.
Then, Liz, another woman Dave was seeing casually,
Yeah.
becomes the focus of Carrie's relentless campaign of terror.
So it's like Liz became a stand-in for Carrie,
Yeah.
the object of her jealousy and rage.
Right.
The stalker often sees the new partner as an obstacle to be eliminated,
Uh-huh.
a rival for the affection of the person they're fixated on.
It's almost like Carrie was playing a twisted game,
Oh,
pitting these women against each other,
right.
while Dave remained caught in the middle,
Mm.
and Liz's life becomes a living nightmare.
Oh, gosh.
She gets threatening messages. Her
Oh.
garage is broken in.
Jeez.
Someone spray paints hateful messages on her property.
Oh, that's awful.
It's terrifying.
This is where the case really underscores the devastating impact cyberstalking can have on a victim's life.
Yeah.
It's not just words on a screen.
Right.
It creates a pervasive sense of fear and insecurity that can permeate every aspect of their daily existence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And while all of this is happening,
Okay.
Carrie's mother,
Yeah.
Nancy,
Mhm.
is desperately searching for her daughter.
Right.
She files a missing person report.
Okay.
But with Carrie being an adult who could have chosen to leave,
Yeah.
the police don't see it as a high priority case.
Right. Right.
Then Nancy starts receiving strange messages from Carrie,
Oh, wow.
including one asking her to sell some antique furniture.
So this is a classic tactic employed by stalkers,
Okay.
using manipulation to maintain control and deflect suspicion by pretending to be Carrie.
Right.
Liz
Okay.
could create the illusion that she was alive and well,
Yeah.
discouraging further investigation.
It's incredibly devious.
Oh, yeah.
And to make it even more convincing. Yeah.
Carrie sends Nancy a photo of a $5,000 check, supposedly from the sale of the furniture.
Wow.
But something about the messages feels off to Nancy.
Right.
You know, that gut feeling a mother has about her child?
Mm-hmm.
Nancy couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right.
That intuition is powerful
Yeah.
in many cases.
Mhm.
It's the loved ones who first sense that something is amiss,
Right.
even when the evidence seems to point in a different direction.
And as we'll see,
Okay.
Nancy's instincts will prove to be incredibly valuable
Yeah,
in untangling this twisted web.
I bet.
But a year later,
Okay.
Things escalate dramatically
Mhm.
when Liz's house burns down.
Oh my gosh.
Thankfully, she and her children manage to escape,
That's good.
but her pets tragically die in the fire.
Oh, it's so sad.
And guess what?
What?
Shortly after,
Yeah.
Liz receives an email from Carrie,
Oh no.
gloating about the fire
Whoa.
and hoping Liz and her children had burned to death.
Arson is a clear escalation of violence. A sign that the stalker's desire for control has spiraled into a dangerous obsession with destruction.
Yeah.
And that email?
Yeah.
Pure psychological warfare. It's a way for the stalker to revel in their power and inflict further pain on their victim.
Talk about chilling.
Yeah.
But this is where the case takes an even more unexpected turn.
Okay.
2 years after the fire, Liz is walking in a park when she's suddenly attacked and shot in the leg.
What?
She immediately points the finger at Amy,
Okay.
Dave's ex-partner, claiming she was the shooter.
This is where the Liz's weaving starts to get really intricate.
Right.
By accusing Amy, she's attempting to deflect suspicion from herself and potentially eliminate another rival for Dave's affection.
Good chess game.
Oh, wow.
With Liz carefully plotting her moves to manipulate everyone around her.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But remember, the police had that fingerprint from a mint container in Carrie's car.
It didn't match anyone in their database, and they were struggling to find a connection.
Okay.
However, as they delve deeper into the digital evidence, they uncover a crucial clue
Okay.
that will change everything.
All right, let's hear it.
So they had this mysterious fingerprint,
Right.
and Liz is busy pointing the finger at Amy.
Yeah.
Where do they go from here?
Well,
I'm guessing this is where the digital web really comes into play.
Exactly. Remember, you sent in a bunch of articles and police reports on this. And what's incredible is how detectives Jim Doty and Ryan Avis, who were now heading the investigation, really started to see the case differently. They weren't just looking at emails and texts as isolated incidents. They were looking for patterns for the digital threads that connected everything.
Okay, so they're looking for connections. What kind of digital breadcrumbs did Liz leave behind?
Well, one of the key discoveries was Liz's use of an app called Text Me.
Okay.
This app allows users to create disposable phone numbers and send texts and make calls anonymously. Liz was using this app to create fake Carrie profiles and send messages to Dave and Liz, making it seem like Carrie was still alive and tormenting them.
Wow, so she was basically catfishing them.
Yeah.
But as a ghost. That's next level manipulation.
Right.
But hold on, she's sending messages from an app. Wouldn't those be traceable back to her phone or her account?
That's where things get even more interesting. The detectives discovered that Liz was also using VPNs.
VPNs?
Or virtual private networks.
Okay.
These services encrypt your internet traffic and route it through a server in a different location, making it much harder to track your online activity.
So she was covering her tracks digitally.
Exactly.
It's amazing how tech-savvy she was, using these tools to create this elaborate facade.
Yeah.
But how did they finally connect her to those messages and the harassment?
It was a combination of meticulous digital forensics and some clever psychological tactics. Remember how Liz had been framing Amy for the shooting? And even sent those fake email confessions? The police decided to use that to their advantage. They suggested to Dave that he move back in with Amy for protection.
Really?
Knowing that this would likely provoke a strong reaction from Liz.
That's pretty risky, isn't it? What if she had actually hurt Amy?
It was a calculated gamble.
Yeah.
But it paid off.
Okay.
Liz became incredibly agitated when she heard about Dave possibly moving back in with Amy.
Wow.
She demanded to know why Amy hadn't been arrested yet.
Jeez.
And within hours, she sent those incriminating emails confessing to everything. The harassment, the arson, even Carrie's murder.
She played right into their hands. It's like she couldn't control her jealousy, even when it meant exposing herself. But how do they prove that those emails were actually from Liz? Couldn't she claim that someone else had access to her accounts?
That's where the digital forensics came in. Remember, they already suspected Liz based on that fingerprint, and as they dug deeper, they discovered a pattern in the timestamps of the messages and emails. Liz was scheduling these messages in advance.
What?
Sometimes even sending messages to Dave and Liz simultaneously while they were together, making it seem like Carrie was omnipresent.
So she was basically creating this digital ghost that could be in multiple places at once. It's kind of brilliant in a twisted way.
Yeah.
But it also reveals a level of premeditation and planning that's just chilling.
Exactly. And remember those photos and videos Dave and Liz received, making it seem like they were being watched? The detectives discovered that Liz had been uploading these to YouTube from an account linked to her IP address. The digital trail was becoming clearer with every click.
It's like she was building her own prison brick by digital brick, and she was the only one who had the key.
But even with all this digital evidence, did they have anything concrete linking her to Carrie? I mean, they still didn't know what had actually happened to her.
You're right. The digital evidence was strong,
Yeah.
but they needed something that definitively connected Liz to Carrie's disappearance.
Right.
And that's when another piece of the puzzle fell into place. Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Yeah.
What was it?
While they were investigating, Dave remembered that Liz had used an old tablet of his a while back.
Uh-huh.
When the police examined the tablet, they found a micro SD card that had been wiped clean.
Okay.
But using specialized forensic software, they were able to recover some deleted files.
Oh, wow.
And what they found on that card was the smoking gun they'd been looking for.
This is where it all comes together, isn't it? What was on that SD card? Okay, so we've got this wiped SD card,
Right.
recovered files,
Yeah.
and a smoking gun.
Yeah.
This is a moment of truth, right?
It really was. Among those recovered files were a number of photos. Some were just ordinary snapshots, but others were incredibly disturbing. They found images of a decomposing foot, and on that foot was a tattoo, the Chinese character for mother.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something in those fake emails about a tattoo on
Yeah.
Carrie's thigh?
You're absolutely right. The detectives immediately contacted Carrie's mother, Nancy, and it turns out Carrie did have a tattoo, but it wasn't on her thigh. It was the word mother in Chinese, and it was on her foot. A perfect match to the photos on Liz's SD card.
That's chilling. It's like she kept those photos as some kind of trophy, a twisted reminder of what she had done. But how could she have taken those photos? And where was Carrie's body?
That's the one question that unfortunately still remains unanswered. Liz never revealed what she did with Carrie's body, and despite extensive searches, it was never found.
So even in her conviction, she maintained a degree of control, denying Carrie's family the closure of a proper burial. It's heartbreaking.
It is. But with the evidence stacked against her, Liz waived her right to a jury trial and faced a judge alone.
What was going through her mind at that point? Did she show any remorse?
According to those present at the trial, Liz remained stoic and emotionless throughout the proceedings. Even when the judge delivered the guilty verdict sentencing her to life in prison for murder and an additional 18 to 20 years for arson, she barely reacted.
Wow. It's almost like she had detached herself from reality, living in this web of lies for so long that she couldn't face the truth.
It's possible, and it makes you wonder if this pattern of deception and manipulation extended even further back into her past. You included some articles about a tragic incident involving Liz's infant son, Cody.
Oh, yes, that's right. This is where the story takes an even darker turn.
Liz's son, Cody, died under suspicious circumstances when he was just 5 months old. Her boyfriend at the time, Neil Monson, was charged with shaking the baby to death, but there were always questions surrounding the case whispers that Liz might have been involved.
But what evidence was there to support that claim?
Neil, who had an intellectual disability, admitted to sometimes playfully tossing Cody in the air, but insisted the baby always enjoyed it. However, under pressure from investigators, he confessed that he might have thrown Cody higher than usual on the day he died.
So was it an accident? Or something more sinister?
Neil's family has always maintained his innocence, claiming that his confession was coerced. And there's another layer to this story. While Neil was in prison, he supposedly sent Liz a series of letters declaring his love for her and urging her to admit that she had dropped the baby so he could be freed.
Wait a minute, this sounds familiar. It's like the Amy Flora situation all over again. Is there any possibility that Liz forged those letters too?
It's certainly a possibility, especially considering her history of manipulation. The language and style of the letters seem far beyond Neil's capabilities. Unfortunately, the original letters have disappeared, so analyzing the handwriting to confirm Liz's involvement has been impossible.
So we're left with this unsettling possibility Liz might have been involved in the death of her own child and then manipulated her boyfriend into taking the fall. It's a thought that's difficult to comprehend.
It is. And while we can't definitively connect Cody's death to Carrie's case, it certainly raises questions about Liz's capacity for deception and violence.
It makes you wonder if meeting Dave and the subsequent rejection was simply a catalyst unleashing a darkness that was already lurking within her.
That's a chilling thought. But let's shift our focus back to the aftermath of Liz's conviction. What happened to the other people caught in this web of deceit? Dave? Carrie's family.
Right. They were victims too, in a way.
Absolutely. Dave was left with a profound sense of guilt knowing that Carrie had lost her life because she met him. He has spoken openly about his struggles to cope with the trauma and has dedicated himself to sharing Carrie's story to ensure that she's remembered not for her tragic end, but for the vibrant woman she was.
In Carrie's family. How did they deal with the loss and the years of uncertainty?
Carrie's mother, Nancy, found solace in finally knowing what happened to her daughter, even though Liz's refusal to reveal the location of Carrie's body denied them the closure of a proper burial. She chose to focus on celebrating Carrie's life, holding a memorial service to honor her memory. Carrie's son, Max, also found a way to keep his mother's spirit alive by pursuing a career in computer science following in her footsteps.
It's a beautiful way to honor her legacy. Out of this tragedy came a determination to create something positive, something that would carry on Carrie's passion and her love for technology.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can find ways to heal and to create meaning out of loss.
This case has been a whirlwind of emotions. It's a story of love, obsession, betrayal, and the devastating consequences of unchecked manipulation. It's also a stark reminder of how technology can be used for both good and evil, how our digital footprints can be both a window into our lives and a weapon in the hands of those who seek to harm us.
It's a cautionary tale for all of us. As we navigate this increasingly digital world, it's crucial to be mindful of the information we share, the connections we make, and the potential for manipulation that exists in the online realm.
As we've been talking, I keep thinking about that title, A Tangled Web. It's a perfect metaphor for this case. The intricate layers of deceit, the interconnected lives of those involved, the way technology was used to weave this elaborate trap. It's a story that will stay with me, a reminder to always be vigilant, to trust my instincts, and to never underestimate the power of the digital world.
Well said. And if you're interested in delving deeper into this case and exploring the psychology behind Liz's actions, I highly recommend checking out Leslie Rule's book, A Tangled Web. She does an incredible job of piecing together the events and offering insights into the minds of those involved.
Absolutely. And to our listener, thank you for sharing this captivating and thought-provoking case with us. We encourage you to continue exploring the world of true crime, to question, to analyze, and to never stop seeking the truth. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.